โอเคสวัสดีครับอันนี้จะเป็นวิดีโอแรกของซีรีส์ฝรั่งขี้นกสอนภาษาไทย so this is gonna be the first episode of the series Farang Kii Nok teaches Thai. So the first episode, since the show is about Farang Kii Nok, we might as well make the first episode about what it is to be a Farang Kii Nok. And in order to do that, I want to talk about a few different words. Maybe some other ones will come to me as we go. But what I'm going to do, I might annotate this, but annotating takes forever, so what I'll probably do is just put the words that I introduce down below the video that you can look in the information and find all the spellings and whatnot. So first of all, the word Farang Kii Nok, I understand the word Farang Kii Nok is really complicated. I actually just did a thing on my Facebook channel where I asked what the word คำว่า Farang Kii Nok มีความหมายอะไรสำหรับคุณอะไรอย่างเงี้ยสำหรับคุณมีความหมายว่าอะไรบ้าง right because there are more than one meaning. There's more than one possible meaning to Farang Kii Nok, right? It could be just a guava that apparently got eaten by a bird or something like that, like a guava seed that got eaten by a bird, then got shit out and then didn't grow properly, and so it's different than a normal guava. It doesn't have the same amount of flesh. It's the same amount of, do I think we call it flesh? Anyway, what do we call it? Yeah, anyway. And so you eat the, but it's still supposed to taste really good. It's supposed to have a little bit of a different texture, whatever. But it's a different fruit, right? So Farang Kii Nok, because it actually comes from a bird after it has been digested, right? So that's where that comes from. Now the comparison might be made because Farang are often seen as being very rich in Thailand, right, and upstanding people, which we all know isn't really true because all you have to do is go to Khao San to see a bunch of people that aren't quite like that at all, the backpacking culture. Now, I want to say the problem, but it's not always a problem, right, but it's just sort of the way things are, the state of affairs, is that if you go to Khao San and you sort of let yourself fall into that category of people that are in that, dressed like that, and which we're going to talk about that in a second, that sort of is what allows you to be labeled, if you ask me, as a Farang Kii Nok, because and then even going outside of Khao San, it just sort of there's a certain style of dress, certain way of presenting yourself that can often get you labeled as a Farang Kii Nok, and I have often been called this because while I do speak Thai and I understand the importance for Thai people of presenting an image and whatnot, I refuse to do it all the time. I'll do it when I need to, but I won't do it all the time. And this this might end up being a problem for me later in life. I don't know, but I believe that I am who I am, and I love Thai culture the way I love Thai culture, and if Thailand isn't okay with that, well, I'm sorry. But I really try the best I can to be respectful without having to lose who I am. And I think that's really a big part of what it means to be a foreigner in any country, right? You have to be respectful to the way the country functions, but at the same time, I don't believe in 100% assimilation. I don't know that it's necessarily fair. Eventually, Americans who came to America in the beginning didn't have to 100% assimilate, did they? No, they killed a bunch of Indians and then created their own way of life. So I think there is something to be said for allowing only partial assimilation. But that's a whole different argument. Anyway, let's get back to what I want to talk about, which is being a Farang Kii Nok, some of the things that you will hear. Okay, the first thing you might hear is, "Hui, thamai na du som." So in Thai, anytime you take something and you make it a high tone and then say it again, so that one means really fat, or chalat would mean really smart, or gang, right? Dude. Well, but that's because it's gang, right? But if it's like what we're doing here, soom, yeah, soom, yeah, soom. So that's something you can do all the time. Is to say na, thamai na du som mak, thamai na du som. Why does your face look so rugged? I mean, like just unkempt. It's like the idea of unkempt, right? Not tidy, not taken care of. Yeah. You just woke up and like you're all sleepy and so right now I could say ตอนนี้หน้าผมดูโทรมมากเพราะเพิ่งตื่นไม่กี่ชั่วโมงที่แล้ว because I just woke up a few hours ago and ยังไม่ได้อาบน้ำนะครับก็เลย soหน้าผมก็เลยเป็นอย่างนี้นะครับหน้าผมเป็นอย่างนี้Okay, so that's the first word is soom, right? And that's just talking about your general sort of facial appearance. It could mean your eyes are tired and your hair is, you just look rough, right? you just look like you're not doing as well. Okay, so that might be one. But now if we want to talk about maybe like your hair though, you could talk about a lot of different things. You could talk about like right now you could say hua fu, hua fu. Fu. You can think about like when when yeast rises, that's called fu. I'm going to make sure that I'm pretty positive of that, but I don't want to give wrong information. Yeah, to rise, swell, bulge, right? And I'm pretty positive it's used with yeast. And the thing, food that sort of expands. Okay, so hua fu, you can sort of guess what that means, right? And then a couple other things. Well, okay, so this is just talking about facial appearance. Right? So you got soom, which is your whole, and then hua fu. You could also say pom yung. Pom is hair, right? Not pom yung as in I am busy, male form of I am busy, right? But pom yung yung means that my hair is kind of messy, right? Pom yung yung. Now, there's two words here I'm going to introduce, gระเซอกระเซand serng, which are pretty different in their usage and meanings, actually, even though they're pretty similar. They describe a similar thing, but they have different values, right? So if someone says gระเซอกระเซ, you might say about doกระเซอกระเซ. I'm pretty sure that it's extended to all things, not just hair. You can talk about clothes as well. I know with serng it's extended to everything, so I'm imagining they both are. But anyway, gระเซอกระเซis used to talk about an unkempt appearance as well. Yeah, looking rough, haggard, tattered, something like this. Often means your clothes. Ganggang, kaat. There's a rip in your pants. Kaat means to rip. So so like you usually talk about clothing. Kaat, right? To nong kaat is when a girl's leggings rip or pantyhose rip, or a ganggang kaat, like if you have holes in your pants or something like that, right? So that could be called gระเซอกระเซ, and that could be kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? Belittling. Saying that you don't care about your appearance, blah, blah, blah. Or someone might call you serng. That's meความหมายว่า. That might have the meaning of เท่ which might be like cool, เจ๋ง มีเสน่ห์ right? Attractive, cool, impressive. Like, I don't know, เท่ is usually about physical appearance. เจ๋ง is more about the attitude that comes out of it, right? So เท่ like ดูเท่ but something can just be เจ๋ง. And something could also just be เท่ You could say เท่มากเลย. I don't really know. There's not a clear difference between these two words. And I mean, some Thai people will just say they're the same. But they're not the same, okay? They're not the same. There are slight differences. And I feel like เท่ tends to go towards the visual, but not always. And เจ๋ง is not as bounded, okay? So, but that's, so those are possibilities that people might say if they call you serng, do serng. That may be what they mean, right? But if they say กระเซอกระเซ, it could just be a general statement, or it could actually be kind of an insult that you don't take care of your personal appearance. Alright, so all these things, right, as you see now, me getting called a Farang Kii Nok by people that I've never met in my life and never talked to, them calling me a Farang Kii Nok could have a lot of meanings. I've actually, most people say it's an insult, but เป็นคำด่า เป็นคำตำหนิ เป็นคำด่าis an insult, คำตำหนิ is a criticism or a rebuking remark, something like this, yeah? So but I would say they're probably right. Usually it is some kind of an insult. It usually has to do with the fact that, now, and I've even read the words that คนที่ถูกเรียกเป็นคนไทยเรียกเป็นฝรั่งขี้นกเป็นคนที่ไม่ค่อยให้เกียรติกับประเทศไทย. And I just I feel like this is an interesting explanation. Okay, so if that's what ไม่เกียรติ ไม่ให้เกียรติ means to not give honor or to not honor Thailand. Okay, so if that's what it means, well, I feel like I try to honor Thailand. I may not do it every time. I may say some things wrong or whatever, but I feel like in the end, my intentions definitely honor Thailand. I definitely am not, I feel like I don't go into this with too many of the wrong reasons, at least. Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. But the point is, I'm trying to say that this is an appearance-based thing. People can say that it's not, but I think it's heavily appearance-based, right? So that's why you might want to know that when you're getting called hua fu and they're talking about your ganggang kaat and na do som le na do som if they don't say you do serng, then they're probably kind of, if you hear the word Farang Kii Nok associated with this context, you can be pretty sure this is not a compliment. Now, don't understand that they're calling you a bird shit Farang, because that's actually not what it means. Alright, not one person associated feces with Farang. Okay, so I think it's a really important thing to remember there, because I actually took it the wrong way for a long time. It's looking at the fact that you're not rich and presenting yourself like a high-class citizen of the world, okay? Which you could possibly not take it as an insult, right? I've actually met some people who called me a Farang Kii Nok, and I was like, yeah, so what? I was at a conference, or not, I was just at a bar actually, and some people were talking about, some people were doing, it was a Suadang conference, and I mean, I'm not necessarily Suadang, but I'm interested in the stuff they're talking about in any case. You know, so I was sort of talking and listening up, and I sang a couple songs or whatever at the karaoke bar open, and then, you know, they called me a Farang Kii Nok, and I was offended, but some people explained to me that, no, you know, you don't necessarily need to be, right, because it kind of shows that, look, you're not someone who's out there trying to show off how rich they are. However, at the same time, it could have another meaning. Sorry, I know I'm not teaching as much language as you might want, but I think this important term is really important. It's a good starting point. So it could have another meaning, and that is that you're someone who just acts like they come to Thailand and they act like they have a lot of money, even though in their home country they wouldn't have that much money. Which that doesn't fit with the circumstance I'm talking about, because I was actually in Germany, where I am by no means rich, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to be moving there, and ผมจะยากจนมากเชื่อว่ามันจะยากมากจะจนมากตอนไปถึงที่โน่นเพราะว่าต้องหางานทำแล้วก็นั่นแหละจะยากนะครับคำว่านั่นแหละ when I say นั่นแหละ it's like yeah, so like that, yeah, basically that. That's what I mean. That, yes, something like that. Okay, นั่นแหละ Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. If somebody else says it and you say, oh, นั่นแหละ Oh yeah, right, that. Something like this. Okay, they can be translated in a million ways. Okay, and that might be the subject of my next video that I'm going to do like right now after this. But that's how words need to be you need to think about words when working with Thai. Okay, so I think we've got all the words for now. Okay. Now, to go back, just to talk about some things real quick, if you're having trouble with pronunciation, so I'll review all the words we had that I brought up. So, soom, it's, you know, don't ask me the question. The hardest thing is when I first teach people words like soom, they say, soom? I said soom, I didn't say soom, I said soom, and they say, oh, soom. No, I didn't say soom, I said soom. Pretend like you're sitting there bored as can be, and like you have no feelings, and you're just like, so. Okay, you can say soom. I mean, really, it's not about whether you're here. It's the fact that there's no movement, and then in relation to other tones, it's in the middle. Okay. Another one we have then would be, I already talked about the word na, right? Just to make sure we get all the tones in here. I said I wouldn't do it, but I'll try and get them all in here. So na, right? I feel it's obvious falling sound. Na. Notice that both with the rising sound and in the falling sound, there's the sound actually moves in your head. Na. It starts in the top of your head. Na. By the time you're done, you can hear it drop. It's dropped down your throat. Na. 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 Right? It moves down. The sound actually moves down in your head too. It's not just you're moving notes down. No, the sound where it's produced moves down. Okay, and the same thing with the risings. Do we have any risings? Yeah, hua, fu, hua, hua. Notice where the at the end is but that is not where we begin at all, right? Is up here. But hu is all the way down here, as deep as it can get. Hua. No, notice I don't go hua at all. No, I'm exaggerating it so you can see where I'm talking about, where you produce these sounds, right? Hua, fu, right? So you don't have to exaggerate that much. I just want you to see that the way the sound moves, okay? I realize my accent's a little ridiculous right now, but it's hua, fu, right? It doesn't need to be that extensive, that stretched out. So we've got so, na, hua, fu. So we still need, okay, this would be good. Gra, low sound. Gra, se, low, high. Gra, se, right? I mean, I'm trying to make these as different as I can so that you can see the gra, right? In both of them. Gra, se. Gra is the same in both. Gra is a prefix in all kinds of words. Gradot, jump, right? Grapao, bag, all kinds of things. Gra, it's always gra. กระเซอกระเซอ say a little faster กระเซอกระเซอกระเซอกระเซอ right กระเซอกระเซอ and then you can often drop off the R sounds when speaking Thai if it's a consonant cluster the R's and L sounds so you could say กระเซอกระเซอกระเซอกระเซอ and it would still be totally understandable. Do I have any other words? I said กางเกงขาด and I think it's important to notice the difference between กระ and ขาด. There's a little more movement going on with the sounds that are longer. Kaat. Notice it's not cut. It's kaat. It's a long vowel sound, right? There's cut, which means to obstruct something, and kaat, which means to rip or to lack also. It kind of makes sense, right? If you rip something, then you're lacking that original, what was originally there. Okay? So, good. I think I'm done for this one. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer any. I think I might just start doing this according to your questions. But like I said, I wanted to get through the idea of Farang Kii Nok and what it is when somebody calls you, this what it means, and then just sort of work through. Now keep in mind, I'm going to do my best to sort of check my information that I'm providing you with native Thai speakers as much as I can. It will take me some time sometimes to answer some of your questions or whatnot because I'm going to have to, ปรึกษา with Thai people ปรึกษากับคนไทยเจ้าของภาษาไทยนะครับปรึกษา is to what do they say? To consult with, yeah? To consult with or refer to or something like this. Okay? Alright. Well then, ขอบคุณมากทุกคนนะครับที่เข้ามาดูวิดีโอนี้นะครับ ทั้งคนไทยที่เป็นแฟนคลับแล้วก็ฝรั่งที่หวังว่าจะมีเข้ามาใหม่เยอะแยะในช่วงหลังๆนะครับ ในช่วงข้างหน้านะครับโทษที Okay, so ในช่วงข้างหน้า right in the time to come, right ในช่วงเวลาข้างหน้า or เร็วๆนี้ right soon โอเคขอบคุณมากครับสวัสดีครับ